All right, guys, we're going to need you to do something for us, okay? We're going to need you to go over to whatever podcast app you use, whether that's iTunes or whatever the hell.
I'm pretty sure iTunes is the only one that they can do this on.
I'm pretty sure you're wrong. Anyway,
do you want me to look this up right now?
No. But I'm going to need you to rate it 5 stars. Okay, that's not 1 star because we're not in Texas. That's the Lone Star State.
Yeah, we're in Oklahoma. That's about as best as it gets.
As best as it gets. Wow.
Yeah, that's right. As best as it gets.
It's about as Oklahoma as you can get right there.
Hey, that's as best as you can get.
But yeah, I just need you guys to rate it 5 stars. Write a little like "hello partner" or something in the comments.
If you
write us a review on iTunes, you might be a redneck.
Well, they gotta be a redneck if they review us on iTunes.
Well, that's just because
you killed the bit, dude.
I didn't carry it on. Nathan will also suck your dick if you do. So.
Oh my god, why does that always have to come out?
I'm just kidding. You know, he has a wife.
Wife.
A wife. This is episode 61. Juan. Titled Random Access Memories. And no, I did not think of that title.
We know. You're not that smart or clever.
Maybe I am.
Maybe I am.
Dirty Dan. But yeah, there's nothing about Daft Punk in this episode. It's just us talking about random memories and just random stuff. And I hope you enjoy it. If you don't, I still want you to give us 5 stars. You know,
please.
If you don't enjoy it, please send us an email telling us how much you hate us. Like, we would love that.
Or just put it in the review.
Or in the review, you know, you can give us 1 star.
No. You have to give us 5
okay,
stars.
5 stars.
Just put in there like worst podcast ever. But you have to give us 5 stars.
Yeah, and then we'll, or you know, a legitimate review of our podcast with 5 stars.
Right.
Even if it's not 5-star worthy, but you know, 5 stars. That's what's important.
That's all we need, 5 stars.
Yeah, and make sure to subscribe. Make sure to come back every week too, you know, for more chocolatey goodness.
What chocolatey goodness?
Yeah, we're like a Snickers bar. I don't know where that came from.
I have no idea.
But anyway, as always, I'm Asen.
I'm Nathan.
And this is the Cold One with the Boys.
I was about to say go, but I guess it really doesn't matter since I just clicked record.
If you
well, now you have to finish.
I don't have a good one.
But why not?
I don't know what. Well, you listen to more of Jeff Foxworthy. Like, what's a joke of his for the redneck thing?
If you have to have your richest uncle come and take the wheels off of your new house,
what?
You might be a redneck.
Is that really a joke of his?
Yeah, it's actually a joke of his.
I mean, I get it, but damn, that's like 12-year-old humor, man.
What is 12-year-old humor?
It's something I would have laughed at when I was 12, which apparently you are, since you just fucking laughed.
Dude, that was hilarious. That was like one of my favorite jokes of his when I was a kid. It probably still is now.
I mean,
why is that not funny?
One of the richest comedians, so I'm not gonna shit on Jeff. I enjoy his humor. It's just, you know, dad jokes, which
dude, don't shit on Jeff Foxworthy.
But he's definitely not the best out of the Blue Collar Comedy Tour.
I
would say that goes to Ron White.
I would say ratings, reviews, and most money says that he was the best on that show.
Well, I mean, okay, sure. But in my opinion, which doesn't matter, but in my
We
opinion,
know your opinion doesn't matter. Thank you for
I
clarifying
like
that, though.
Ron White.
Ron, why? I don't know. Bill Engvall, I think, is probably my favorite from that show.
Dude, that's the one that no one knows about.
Dude, the reason why I like Bill Engvall is because he does like the family humor, like the marriage stuff, the family, like, the parents, griping at the kids. Like, that's the kind of humor that I enjoy the most.
You're not even gonna have kids. Why do you care?
Because it makes me remember
why you don't want to have kids.
Why I don't want to have kids.
Well, I think it's Ron White because
I
like saying white. Maybe that's why.
White.
White. He likes saying wife.
Wife.
He's like, I was going to the store with my wife.
Dude, he does not talk like that.
There's no H in wife.
Wife.
My wife.
What is it? What is the one I always misspell? Is it wipe? Wipe?
Yeah,
I put an H in there.
Like what? Whap. Where we're gonna get you some toilet whaps.
I don't know why I put an H. Is there something that sounds like wipe that has an H in it? Like WHIPE, like something close to that makes a word?
Probably. I can't think right now, but I do know it's part of
bag.
It's part of the southern accent. Same with like fucking dude. I can't stop cussing. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. This is the third weekend.
You are such a potty mouth. Anything but the F word would be okay.
I know.
I'm going to need you to go back and edit that out. Like, we're going to make it one episode without you using the F word.
We're going to bleep that one out. No, we're not.
It takes too much time for me to do that.
That's not why.
No, go ahead.
Keep being a baby about it. It's okay. What were we even talking about?
WH. You're saying something about the southern accent.
Yeah, so it's like people looking at the state of Washington and they say Washington.
I've never met anybody that called it Washington.
I have. My 7th grade teacher said she was going to put her clothes in the washer. And I was like, what? Excuse me? What's a washer?
What's a washer? I'm pretty sure wash is common down here, but I've never heard somebody say Washington. Like that. That's just how we talk around here.
John Q with Denzel Washington. What's the capital of the United States? Washington, D.C. That's like I don't know if that's a southern thing or if that comes from something else, but I know like British accents add a lot of R's where they don't belong. You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea. Explain it. Like, give me a reference.
Like if a British person says drawing, they would say drawing.
Drawing.
Show me that drawing that you drew there. Like that was really bad.
That was awful.
But drawing, like they say like random R's that don't belong there. They're just invisible.
I mean, I feel like here in Oklahoma, we just run a lot of words together. Like y'all is, one of the common words that
y'all
we use.
That's pretty common everywhere now.
Yeah,
there is other things though that are just like, what did you just say?
What did you just say to me?
But I can't think of it.
As somebody, I was about to ask, as somebody that's not originally from Oklahoma, what are some of the things that you can think of? But apparently you're a useless bag, so we'll just move on. Actually, everybody, make sure you guys wish Sin a happy birthday. He's now 28 years old. He's an old man. Your birthday was... What do you mean?
I'm 38.
Dude, get out of here. You're not 38.
I'm old.
I feel like we're about to be 38 in a few years.
I mean, yeah. A few years can be that many years.
Like, I can't even bend over and tie my shoes without getting out of breath anymore. Like, it's bad.
Yeah, that's not age, dude. That's something called fat.
Fat. If
you. Oh, I gotta get the good yodel in there. If you. I didn't do it again. I don't know, man.
I don't even know how to yodel.
You. If you. You gotta act like you're
Get
14.
out of breath. Tie on your shoes.
You might be a fat ass.
Well, this is another reason why people in the United States are probably overweight. This actually happens in the Philippines, but I feel like this will be our kids if we do have kids. This kid is so addicted to video games that his mother was forced to bring him his dinner to a I don't even know what they called it, like a computer room. I guess they have like one little area in this town where everybody comes to use computers, like an internet lounge or something. She had to like bring a plate of food to this kid so that he could not miss a meal because he's so addicted to video games that he refused to get up and come home and eat. That reminds me of I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't know where that came from. I've never done that before.
You're a shit bird, that's why.
Dude, that's my word, by the way.
Sorry.
Sorry. But I know I was saying this reminded me of something, and now you done messed me up calling me an S-bird, dude.
Well, before you go on, before you remember what you're gonna say, I wanna congratulate you on the flawless segue there. Randomly out of my yodeling right into the news story. That was pretty good.
I had to take you out of your yodeling segment. Like, I didn't want to hear you try and yodel anymore.
It wasn't a yodeling segment.
I just didn't. I wanted you to shut your mouth, so I just kind of moved the podcast along.
Well, I mean, I'm just congratulating. It was well done. We're going to get you an award, a little trophy next to your desk.
And tell you what, from now on, you can segment into the stories.
No, I'm just saying,
That's all I hear when you open your mouth.
All right, that was just childish. See, you're 12.
Now you done messed me up. I was going somewhere with this story, and now you just killed it.
Well, it's a good story. You just suck at reading.
Well, I'm trying not to read the story word for word. All right. That's called plagiarism.
Is it, though?
I don't even know. What is plagiarism? Is where you copy somebody's work and use it as your own, correct?
Yes. Yeah, you copy someone's work. You know, not to cut off your story, but
God, here we go.
I did read an article today that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Uh-oh.
And this may be a little controversial, but I feel like I need to mention it because, you know, everyone can misstep out of their little freaking, I don't know, bubble in their head. Anyway, I was reading this little article about like people talking shit online and not realizing they're talking to someone that's an expert in that field. Like, for example, someone was trying to correct someone on how to spell this company's name, and he was like, "No, I'm the CEO. I know how to spell my company's name."
Mm-hmm.
Like little things like that. Well, there was like 29 different examples or something in this article, and every time the person corrected, now I support, you know, equality between males and females in the workplace, in you know,
no, you don't,
in the social world, whatever. But every time it was a man telling a woman what to do.
Was it mansplaining?
No, hold on.
Oh.
Every time that a man told a woman what to do in this article, the author of this article afterwards would be like, something about mansplaining, or this man is, how dare this man do this? And every time it was a woman, the comment would start with "this poor lady" or "this poor woman." Oof. And I was like, wait a second. All these people are idiots. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman.
Right.
So why, I don't know. I don't know why I even had to say any of that, but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, man, just be fair to both sides. You know
can't, though, because our masculinity as men is dwarfing the women's society.
What do you?
The females. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right there.
You're an idiot. What do you mean?
I was trying to quote this article I saw saying something about every time a man acts masculine, he's taken away from like a woman's yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that.
Well, I mean, I don't want to turn this into some like political or controversial topic segment.
Why did you even bring it up?
I don't know.
How did this come from a kid refusing to get up and go and eat dinner so that his mom had to bring him
I was just thinking
dinner?
about articles or news stories, and yeah, this came.
So you just decided to cut me off in the middle of, I'm reading the articles right here.
I'm gonna keep going. So,
oh my god.
just just don't get mad. It's okay, everyone.
You are one of the least to talk. Anytime somebody tells you something that you don't agree with, you automatically have to argue, and then you just argue until you get fed up to the point that you have to look it up and either prove yourself wrong or prove somebody else wrong.
That's how I think that's how it should be, in the sense, not the arguing part, because I do argue a little too much without checking, but I do argue something to the point and then actually research it and then realize if I'm wrong or right, and then I'll correct myself.
Now the thing is, if you look up something and find out you're wrong, you don't bring that up again. You're never like, oh, yeah, I looked up, and like if you were wrong, you just kind of let it go after you look it up. But if you were right, then you come
what?
back. I don't know. There's too many instances, for example. But
wow. Okay.
The other day at work, we were arguing about something. You and Michael were jawing back and forth about something so stupid I could barely remember what it was. But you ended up looking something up.
I do remember.
And it was he was correct, and then you just didn't say anything else about it.
Yeah, I mean, but he was right, and he knew the information, so he still knew the information, and now I correct.
I know,
myself.
But in the middle of an argument like that, when you stop and look it up, you gotta let the other person know that they were right. Like, hey, man, I messed up.
Oh, do you want me to go get your brother right now? I'll go get him.
Like right now, just go next door and grab him.
No, but it was the. I thought that Zack Snyder did the movie that he was like kicked off of to finish. I thought that was Batman vs Superman, but it was Justice League. And I was telling him that I thought it was Batman vs Superman, but I wasn't sure. And he's like, no, it was definitely Justice League. And I was like, I don't think so. And I looked it up, and it was Justice League. So I was wrong about that. And I just let it go. I didn't say anything more. So, but no, if I'm right, and if I'm right, I'll definitely like shove it in your face.
I know that's messed up. You gotta have you can't have it both ways.
It's not messed up.
Like if you gotta shove it in somebody's face for the fact that they were wrong, you gotta shove it in your own face and humiliate yourself.
I'm the one that. So when I'm wrong, I take that information, whatever I just learned, and I readjust it in my like personal index of information. Right.
Right.
But if they're wrong, they have to know they're wrong, because they're not the ones looking it up. I'm looking it up for them. Now, if your brother, Michael, had looked up this information, he's like, here, look, off of his phone, and I had looked at it, I'd been like, okay, you're right. Bam. See, I'm arguing right now. And
yeah,
I'm
you
right.
are. No, you're wrong.
Yes, I am. I'm so right.
If you're going to throw it in somebody's face that they were wrong, you should also, in turn, let them know and throw it in your own face that you were wrong. Like, hey, actually, you know what, buddy? You were right. I just looked this up.
They can throw it in my face that I was wrong.
You just don't like being wrong.
Well, no one likes being
wrong. I don't
wrong.
care if I'm wrong or right.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
We could sit here all day and just say, no, I don't. Yes, I do.
But
I don't mind being wrong, unless it's something that, like, I'm super up to date on.
Try to say that when we're playing like One Night a Werewolf, dude. No, I'm not wrong. It's not me.
You just made my ear bleed.
Sorry. I mean, that's how you make my ear bleed when we play One Night a Werewolf.
Are we gonna get through these news stories, or are you just gonna like continue to talk about random stuff?
No, I'm right, man. Go
ahead. All right. So, anyways, this kid refused to eat. I mean, I know there's been instances where me and you have been playing video games, and I think the longest I ever stayed up continuously playing a video game was probably 24, 25 hours. But I've never been able to go without eating. Like I've always had to stop and get something to eat in the middle of it.
Yeah. And I've never had someone feed me.
Dude, one of these days we need to do that. Just sit here and game for so long that like Gwen and Anna has to come in and like hand feed us, like spoon it
What?
into our mouths. Why not?
Gwen's a gamer. She wouldn't do that.
Yeah, she'd probably be sitting here gaming with us. Anna would have to come in and feed all three of us.
Yeah. Or just, she could just put a bowl in front of me like a dog and I'll just
What
my
the
face into it.
Well, what about when you had to go to the bathroom?
You do like South Park, man.
Just have them
The
bark at.
Yeah. Mom! Fuck it! Or you just like install a toilet underneath your chair.
Dude, what if you had a DX racing toilet? Like this chair had a
You just press
toilet
a
in the
button
bottom.
and just a hole
A
opens.
hole like a flap opens up and you just poo in a bucket.
Well, I probably wouldn't be in this room with you right now if you had a DX
That would be
racing toilet.
so disgusting. What if it like filtered? It was hooked up to plumbing and everything, so it didn't just sit in here. Just got sucked down into the plumbing.
I mean, that would be dope. To be honest with you,
Right? Dude, the Ultimate Gamer has a colostomy bag and a catheter in at all times. That's the only Ultimate Gamer there is. Like, he literally doesn't have to get up to go to the bathroom.
well, I guess we're not ultimate gamers, man. I don't know what to tell you.
How
I
awful
don't
would
think
that
I
be?
want to be an ultimate gamer.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't be either. Speaking of poop, apparently
Oh my god, these segues.
astronauts left their poop on the moon, and now scientists want to go back for that shit. So all the Apollo missions where the people landed on the moon, they apparently. So I'm from this article. What it says is astronauts wear diapers, right? Because I'm sure they don't have toilets on the space shuttle. Because with weight restrictions, you got to have most bang for your buck and weight. And I'm sure toilets were just kind of left out. I wonder how would you poop in space anyways on a toilet? Because like once you pooped, it wouldn't just drop down into the toilet bowl. It would just start floating back up, right?
Right. That's when you eat it.
Ew, what the? I don't know. But apparently, whenever they stopped on the moon, these guys kicked out garbage bags full of crap with their diapers, in the trash can. And now scientists want to go back and get those bags full of poo so that they can test it to see if things can live on the moon. So
that'd be cool.
What,
like bacteria.
Dude, okay, so even if bacteria could live on the moon, how does that help us at all?
Maybe we could inhabit the moon, dude.
There's no way. It doesn't have an atmosphere. Like it gets minus 200 degrees in the non-sunlight and 200 plus degrees in the sunlight.
Well, the whole idea is to create an atmosphere.
Is that even possible? Is that something they've even...
Yeah, I mean, what creates an atmosphere is life. So, like, dude, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how that
just
actually
BS
works.
This one through.
But I'm gonna go ahead and BS through this one. How I imagine it would work is if you could get like some kind of biodome up there of actual life and plants, that those would release enough oxygen to be able to somehow create an atmosphere.
I don't think that's how it works. I think the reason why plants and things are allowed to live here is because we have an atmosphere protecting us from the sun.
That's probably true.
I don't think we and the plants and animals create the atmosphere. That's why I don't think there's any other planets that are habitable. Like none of the other planets in the solar system have.
Yes, they do.
They have atmospheres?
Yes.
Like what?
Mars has an atmosphere, dude.
Does it really?
Yeah, haven't you seen pictures from the Mars rover? It looks like just a blue sky. Like a regular fucking day.
No, I guess I don't pay that much attention to stuff millions of miles away.
No, there's plenty of atmospheres, but I do think, because what an atmosphere is literally a bubble of like
gas,
oxygen and gases. Well, not oxygen necessarily. That's just what we have here. But yeah, and a bubble of different gases. So I would imagine Maybe you can't create an atmosphere. I don't know. But I would imagine if you did have to create it, it would have to do something with life being there to create that bubble.
Huh. So you're thinking if we made a biodome.
Well, that's their plan with the whole Mars mission, is to send people there, make a biodome, and actually eventually over time re-inhabit the planet with life of our own to make it like a second Earth almost.
I don't think that's going to be possible. Like, there's nothing up there. Do they have water up there?
No, but that's like, water is one of those things that can be, I don't know how, but if you have like a circulation of water, you can grow plants in a biodome that has oxygen, or carbon dioxide. Sorry, and I believe Mars' atmosphere is all carbon dioxide, so that's what like plants eat, pretty much. That's, they breathe it in and they let out oxygen through photosynthesis. So, like, the only thing that makes us live on Earth is like plant life. If all plant life was gone, we wouldn't, like, oxygen would become really scarce.
Right, because it's the trees taking the carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide. Monoxide. It takes in both, I'm sure.
Yeah, but carbon monoxide is the one that fucking kills you, dude.
That's the one that makes you like go to sleep and
it doesn't make you go to sleep. It's just the one that kills you while you're asleep.
That's so messed up. Anyways, it takes in the carbon dioxide and releases oxygen.
Right.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. This is not a science class.
It is now.
Yeah. No more baby mamas, no more kids to watch, cause I got babysitters. Now it's time for liquor, come on, give it to me, cause it's my escape. Now it's time to annihilate, so my troubles all die away. I'm on a diet, Please do not try this, cause do not invite it. I'm dripping in gold called the Midas. This night I was excited, it got me reignited. I've been waiting so long I can't fight it, but now I'm Mike Tyson inside, I'm on fire. It ain't nothing like a true bro.
Oh my god, please do not tell me this is how you're gonna start it.
This is how I'm starting it, dude.
Okay. Go ahead, start over.
I already said it.
Oh my god. This is where you're like, hey Nathan. I'm like, what, buddy? What are you going to talk about?
I didn't have a way to start the segment. I lied. So
dude,
we're starting
you are
way.
just BSing all your way through this. I get it.
All right. So we're going to talk about memories from our childhood. Before I met Nathan. Cause
I don't even remember when we met.
I was in 4th grade.
Was it really that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I feel like I've known you for a lot less time than that.
Well, that's because there was a time in high school where I didn't want to look at you.
Oh, wow. I feel like this is how it happens whenever you find a new video game. Like, unless you had to see me, like I would never see you.
That's probably true. We didn't have to do this podcast, our lives are so intertwined at this point. You know, you're my boss. We do this podcast together. We play the same video games. I have to talk to you every day.
I know. Isn't it a great thing to see me every day?
I know.
Wow. Anyways, what do you want to talk about?
I already said it.
I wasn't listening.
Our memories before we met.
Memories before we met. So we were kind of talking about this earlier, so I'll give you this question.
Okay.
What was the earliest memory that you can 100% certify that it is your own memory? Nothing about that could possibly be a story somebody told you, or nothing that could be falsified by dreams or something like that. What is the earliest memory that you have right now that you can 100% say you remember that happening from when you were a kid?
Well, it's usually something traumatizing.
Why is that? I guess because otherwise it doesn't really matter, right?
Right. I mean, when we were talking about it earlier, my earliest memory, I guess, would be like just a glimpse of a clothes basket from when I was like 4 years old, but I can't count that because it's not a full memory, and it
Right.
could be something I dreamt, even though I'm pretty positive it's
Dreamt? Is that a word?
yes,
Are you sure?
yes.
Oh, I was just checking. I learned something new.
Wait, do you want to look this one up?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So I'll say I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Well, of course you'll say you're wrong because I'm the one looking it up, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah, you're supposed to tell me I'm
Oh
wrong.
my God.
Anyway, sorry.
Mansplained to me, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. But no, the first thing I remember, all right, so in Bulgaria, like, you know how here in the US, when you're young, a lot of the games you play with, I mean, I don't know if it's like this nowadays. I don't know how people are probably a lot more shut in these days with video games
Right.
and tablets and phones and things like that. But when I was young, you know, all the kids in the neighborhood would come together and play all the time. And here in the US, you would play either like tag, ding dong ditch, hide and seek, things like that,
Mhm.
right?
You guys play football?
No. Well, I mean, yes, but there was a game that we played when we were little called Knights and Raiders.
Uh-oh.
And that was one of my for sure memories that I remember, which I'll kind of take you through.
Yeah, explain to me what Knights and Raiders is.
All right, so the kids around the block together were probably around 14 kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it would split the teams in half. Half are Knights, half are Raiders. The Raiders think of a password,
Mm-hmm.
and they all know the password, and then they go and hide in a certain radius. Our radius was like a mile radius.
What the
So
hell?
it was a huge zone to play in. The Knights' whole objective is to catch the Raiders. So it's like a mix of hide and seek, tag, and a bunch of other stuff. But
Not to cut you off, but if I ever got a mile away from my house when I was a kid, I'd get my ass beat.
I know, different times, different people.
True.
Anyway, so a Knight would catch a Raider, or maybe it was the other way around, where the Knights go high. I don't know.
Well, you're
Doesn't
the one
matter.
explaining the game. You better have this figured out.
That's what I've been told it translates to as Knights and Raiders, but obviously it's in Bulgarian. So
What is it called in Bulgarian?
I don't even remember.
Oh my God.
Doesn't matter. So yeah, basically the objective is the Knights would go catch a Raider. They would try to do whatever, like they would put them in their little prison
Uh-huh.
at base, and they would try whatever to get them to say the password. If they actually got the password, the Knight would yell that, and if it's the correct password, all the Raiders have to come in. The game's over. The Knights win.
Right.
So it was like a fun little game that would take a few hours to play, and it was really fun. Well,
A few hours? It'd take you a few hours to cover a whole square mile.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. There was woods. There was a lot of buildings. There was a lot of places to hide and run. It was a lot of fun. Regardless, I was a Raider one night. I got caught. They were trying to get the password out of me. Keep in mind, I'm a 6-year-old kid.
Right.
So at first, the girl that was playing, she was maybe like 11,
Mm-hmm.
and she was threatening. Like, her mother was a nurse, so she
Right.
was like, "I'm gonna go get my mom's nurse, and we're gonna, or my mom's nurse, I'm gonna go get my mom's syringe, and we're gonna poke you with the needle."
What the F,
And-
dude?
Yeah, dude.
She
And
was
I
just straight up threatening violence.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh shit, she's gonna go get her needle." I was like scared as hell. So, like,
Dude, you fibbed, or you gave up, didn't you?
no, I didn't give the password, dude. I
Oh,
was,
okay.
I was a good Raider. You know what I'm talking about? People wanted me on their team. I don't know about that. You have to ask my brothers. But anyway, so she went in. There was two Knights that were holding me, and she went inside to go get the syringe, supposedly.
Right.
And I was scared shitless, so I was like, I'm running. So I tried to get away from this one guy, and I did. I went around the corner of this building. We lived in like a 8-story building, apartment building that was like 4 buildings long. So I got to the end of it, turned around the corner, and keep in mind this is like 8:00 at night. It's dark
Right.
outside, and I just see 2 glowing eyes in the dark, and I just hear "grrr,"
Ooh.
and I was like, "Oh shit. And I didn't know what, I froze out of fear, didn't know what it was, saw the outline of an animal, and I ran the other way. It was a rabid dog that chased me down and bit me in the ass.
Yikers, dude. It just straight up took a honk out of your butt.
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
It was a nice, good old bite. It was good. It didn't have any diseases. Maybe it did, and that's why I'm so weird.
That would explain why you're so weird.
But I didn't get rabies or anything, so
Well, that's good.
yeah.
What,
So
what is that in Harry Potter, the black dog? What is it called?
the what was that
I
called?
don't remember. I know it's something super ominous.
I mean, I know what it meant,
Well, yeah, it meant death, but
but I don't remember.
I want to call it like a warg, but that's not right.
Yeah, that's not right.
Oh, well. Anyways.
The warg.
Warg.
Maybe that was it. I don't know.
I don't think it was warg. Something. What is a warg?
It's from WoW, I believe.
I don't think so. I know Worgen's from WoW, but I think warg is something completely different. Well, I think it's kind of along the same lines as what a worgen is, but I think it comes from something else.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think my earliest memory is it was at my first house before we moved to where the house is that me and you met at, and I don't know how old we were, but the earliest memory that I can think of off the top of my head right now is when it was me, all three of the boys, me, Jeremy, and Michael were alive, and Michael, we were outside playing. It was wintertime. It was cold because we had jackets and stuff on. I remember that. And this had to be when I was like 6 or 7. My memory is terrible, but we were told to watch Michael to make sure that like he didn't hurt himself because my parents let us outside to play. You know, we were starting to become older and more responsible, little kids, and they were going to let us play outside by ourselves. But me and Jeremy had to watch Michael. And of course, me and Jeremy not caring, we're not watching him. And somewhere he found a hammer, like a legitimate big hammer. Well, it was big for back then, but he found this hammer somewhere and he was running around with it. And he tripped and fell and knocked out his 2 front teeth with the claw side of the hammer. And I remember him screaming that we were going to get in trouble because we weren't watching him like we were told to. And he ran inside and he had like blood all over his face and he had knocked out his 2 front teeth. I don't know why that's one of my earliest memories, but I don't remember how old he was. That's probably why I remember. He had to have been like 2 or 3 years old. So that would make me almost 8 at the time. I guess I don't remember much of my early childhood. Well, I have, I don't know. I think I have Alzheimer's.
Still wouldn't mean you forget old memories.
Is that not what Alzheimer's people can't remember stuff?
Well, yeah, but it's usually like recent memories that they've made.
Is it?
That they can't remember, yeah.
Oh, well, I can't remember what I did yesterday, so.
Yeah. Could be wrong about that too. So
yeah, you probably are. Probably. I need to look that up so I can show you that you're wrong.
Yeah, you do.
Moron.
Wow, you haven't even looked it up and you're calling me a moron. No, but like some other, snippets of information that I remember. I remember my dad in Bulgaria taking me and my brothers to some restaurant, and we had these like foot-long, which at the time I felt like were way bigger than a foot-long sandwich, but it couldn't have been more than a foot. I was just probably like little, and I thought it was huge. But it was like foot-long cucumber sandwiches.
Oof. What is a foot-long cucumber sandwich?
It had like some sort of meat in it with like, like butter or something on it, but it was like lined with cucumbers like you would get at Subway or something.
Uh-huh.
And it was really good from what I remember. I don't know if they were good or not.
Not if it was just cucumbers with some butter in it and bread. Ugh.
Dude, I love eating shit like that. You know me.
I
I'm
know
simple.
you.
I could just bread with some butter and like cucumbers and salt. I would eat that. That sounds good.
No.
Yes, it does.
What sounds good about that?
Everything, dude. That's like butter with bread and a vegetable is so Bulgarian. It's not even funny.
Dude, you guys literally pick up cucumbers and just eat
Yeah,
it like
dude.
a.
Like a carrot.
I don't even eat carrots like that. I don't know. That's got to be a Bulgarian thing. I've never seen an American pick up a cucumber and just munch on it.
Yeah, dude. Just I mean that's because you guys cut it and that's fine. We cut it for salads and stuff. But like, just a cucumber with salt. That's all you need in life, man.
Yeah, you also eat avocado right out of the shell too. You whack job,
Yeah, a lot of people do, dude.
dude. No, they don't,
Yes, just because you don't doesn't mean it's not normal, dude.
dude. It does not taste good until it's mixed with lime juice, salt,
You're so wrong.
and a whole bunch of other stuff to make guacamole.
You're so wrong.
What? It doesn't even really have a taste. Like you can't scoop out avocado, put it in your mouth, and be like, that's so good. Like
Yeah.
there's not enough taste to it.
Right, you salt it up. That's all you need. Salt, and it tastes like guacamole pretty much.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Dude, there's so much more in guacamole instead of just avocado and salt.
I get it. I do think guacamole is tastier than avocados, but avocados are good with just salt.
Okay, well,
You know what avocado means in the Aztec language?
what?
Testicle.
Now, who decided to name a fruit? It's a fruit, right?
I think technically it's a fruit, yes.
Why would you name something testicle? I guess it does look like a wrinkly ball sack.
Well, the reason they named it that is, I mean, obviously Aztecs are gone at this point.
Yeah, so you really don't know, so shut up.
Well, apparently from historians, from what I've read,
Dude, they're all wrong.
is that they called them testicles because they hung like testicles from the trees.
And they look like
And they look like
shrivelly ball sacks.
well, maybe one of your balls would be one avocado.
Yeah, but what if you had two of them just hanging right next to
Right,
each
that's
other?
what I'm saying. It would look like two testicles, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. That's a little fun fact for you fun kids out there, you know?
Now, it doesnn't matter. We're going to get into an argument about foods that, that taste good.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I like it.
I guess I don't know where I was going with it.
Well, I'll just go into another memory. Because this is what the segment's about, not about whether I like avocados or not.
Avocados are gross. What is one of your worst memories?
Well, I mean, this memory that I was going to mention is kind of shitty, in the sense that, like when we moved to the United States, I didn't know what was going on. Like they had told me we were moving, but I was like, "Yay, field trip!" You know, I don't know what's going on.
Like whenever you guys moved to the United States, like were you excited? Like did you know
Yeah, I was
the United States was like, the land of opportunity and stuff?
No idea.
You knew none of that. You thought you guys were going on vacation.
I was. It's not like my parents lied to me and told me we were going on vacation. They said we were moving and we're gonna be there, but there was no part of me that knew how far it was. I didn't know. I wouldn't see my friends again, for example.
Oof. They didn't tell you that?
It's not that they didn't. They told me that, but I was like in my head, I'm like, oh, how far away could it be? You know,
right?
We've driven across this country and it's like 6 hours, but we live in a really small country. So yeah, basically I was excited. I mean, you can see pictures of me in Bulgaria before we're moving, and I'm like in the videos and everything, I'm like, just a 7-year-old hyper kid.
Yeah.
And I'm smiling and all, I'm having a good time. Even when we got on the planes, I was like, plane ride, this is fun. And who knew I was going like thousands of miles
right
across the world. And then, it kind of all settled in after a while. But that was kind of sad, a little sad memory. But then, of course, now I prefer to live here and
right
all that. So
I I don't know what my saddest memory. I guess like I don't really. If we were sitting here talking about it, not doing a podcast, like I'd probably remember a whole bunch of stuff, but like I just can't think of it right now.
A sad memory?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would consider this a sad memory. I can probably remember more sad memories for you than
You probably
could.
can.
Like when I don't remember what it was for, but
Was this something that before we met?
no, because
Oh.
I don't know
True.
before we met. But at one point, like my mom was gonna try to adopt you or something.
Oh yeah, I went through my running away phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was yeah. I mean, I remember that.
I don't know how serious it actually was.
It wasn't like I was
Yeah.
just mad at my parents. I had a whole little rebellious stage where I was tired of following the rules. I got tired of hearing, my house, my rules thing. That one really chapped my butt.
But if you ever had kids, it's exactly
Absolutely.
what you'd be saying.
Yeah.
My house, my rules.
If you don't like it, get out.
Yep.
Dude, I made that decision. I was like, all right, I'm getting out. Like, what are you going to do? Like, I'll go live with somebody else.
I mean, yeah, that's like not to segue this into a whole like running away thing, but I think everyone at some point in their young life has ran away. Maybe we're just weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Probably.
one time I ran away and like they told me that same thing, stay here with our rules or you can leave, and I just left and got to the end of the street and I just started bawling, crying. And of course, I'm on my way out and my parents are following me in their car. Like they're not gonna actually let me run away.
Dude, I don't know what it is when you're a kid and you want to do something and they're like, no. And they're like, my house, my rules. Like, that's what, I feel like that's what makes us who we are now. I feel like kids that get whatever they want, like they never had to deal with the, not the consequence, but the feeling of, well, if I want to do it bad enough, like I'm going to leave my parents.
Yeah, I mean,
They just get what they want.
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. You have to come to the realization that
there's definitely a lot of things from when we were young where I realize now as an adult, I look back and I'm like, okay, I get that.
right.
Like not wanting to have guests over while they're gone at work, for example. I get it.
I still don't get that one.
You don't?
If
Dude, okay,
if it's somebody, like if my son had a friend that lived right next door, and I knew the kid, I knew the parents, I knew they got along, I knew they didn't cause trouble and stuff like that. Like if I'm at work and they're off, like they have a snow day and they want to hang out, I'm not gonna be like, you're not allowed to have that person over here.
It depends, like what if I mean, we never did this. I don't think we broke anything in your house.
I don't remember either.
But like if one of those times the kid broke like your $1,000 computer.
Right, but there was never any of those instances where we did something like that.
But I think it's just more of like the potential threat of that just like I don't want them to be hyper and do some stupid stuff like that. And especially with I don't know, my parents, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that one, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that one, but I do agree with like when they ask for someone to spend the night.
Mm-hmm.
That I understand if they're like no, because
like if they're not home.
No. If I am home,
right?
Like if I have a kid and they want their friend to spend the night, if I don't feel like dealing with kids, I'm gonna say no.
True.
Because that's a commitment you're taking upon yourself on your day off, most likely, to take care of another kid.
Yeah, but like, how much did they actually take care of us? Like, we went to our room and we hung out and watched computer, or played on the computer or watched TV.
Research some porn,
or like it's not like we were. I mean, your parents always fed me, for sure. Especially like on like a weekend, if we stayed late, like on a Saturday, she always fed us breakfast and stuff.
Well, okay, let me back up a little bit. So, not that I don't love your parents. I think they're really nice people, and I respect them. But any other friend I've ever gone to spend the night at their house, they would treat us like that, where we would get breakfast and like we get treated like we had dinner and everything like that. And your parents, like when we went to church, of course, like they had dinner there, and we'd have dinners at your house. But in the morning, they're just kind of like, all right, well, go home.
Go home. I don't remember like that. That's so long ago.
Or the next day would be like they're going to work, and the fridge would be locked.
I doubt it was that, because never would they allow us to spend the night if they weren't going to be there the next morning. Like if they were going to be gone for work, like there was no way
That's
you were
true.
going to be spending the night. It had to have been on the weekend.
That's true.
But yeah.
Did I ever spend the night when we weren't allowed to, and I just slept over?
I don't think so.
Like during the summer when we were off school?
No, I don't think so. Because my parents always came in and woke us up like super early in the morning before they left to go to work.
Ugh. That's the worst.
It was to like tell us to like do chores or something. And of course, like I wasn't listening at 6:30 in the morning on the summer. Like I don't know what they wanted me to do. Like whatever. But
all right, well, that was
your stories were meaningless.
You're
Spit it out. TikTok.
You're a dum-dum.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We're signing off. I'm Asen, and I'm always right.
I'm Nathan.
See you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Hey you. Yes, you. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, we would love to hear your feedback, which can be sent to cold1podcast@gmail.com or leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us gauge how we can make this podcast better for your enjoyment. If you would like to contact us, you can do that through our email or follow us on social media, which is @cold1podcast for Twitter and Facebook. We are now on Spotify as well as most podcast apps in existence, but if you prefer to listen to it online, head on over to our website, actionsperminute.net, for the latest episodes, a link to the APM Network Discord, or to check out any of our APM sponsored streamers. And lastly, if you like what we do, tell your friends and spread the good word. Thank you again, and remember, don't drink and drive.